You are listening to the Community Radio Show.
WLEE News Talk 990. The numbers to call 788-0990, 877-953-3990. If you're watching on the studio cam, you'll see what happens in the background when we go to commercial. It's been a very interesting morning.
Man, I'm
lot of bursts of 45-second excitement.
Yeah, and brain freezes. Okay. Real quick, we just had a couple of announcements. We're in the middle of Ramadan, and at the end of Ramadan, we have a holiday, which is Eid al-Fitr. And we have a celebration on Monday, August 20th, from 11 a.m. Until probably sometime in the evening, 5, 6, 7. Days are long now. That's going to be at 7900 Osborne Turnpike, Richmond, Virginia, 23231. It's called the Celebration at Haddad's Lake. And that is for the entire Muslim community and for you folks that are not Muslim and would like to see what a Eid celebration is like. You are more than welcome to come by as well. Through August 13th, the cost is $6 per person. There is a gate to Haddad's Lake. And after that, prices will go up to $9 per person. So if you could donate or pay in advance. And you can visit Richmond Eid, which is Richmond EID 2012 at .webelee.com, or pay it in the Union First Market Bank under Richmond Eid 2012. So there will be basketball, miniature golf, paddle boat rides, swimming, fishing, and more. And if you need to have any questions or want some more information, you can contact Brother Abdul Ali, 651-5994, Brother Rakib, 249-9042, Sister Khadijah, 497-0207, or Sister Amina at 301-4611.
And you probably didn't get any of those numbers, so we'll put all this stuff up on the website, communityradioshow.com, because as we're getting close, I can't believe it's already the middle of Ramadan.
Yeah.
We only have 14 more days left.
It always does. It starts the first couple of days. It starts off kind of slow, and then all of a sudden, pew! It just.
I got to give you my analogy. I got to give you my analogy of what I equated to. I equated to that uncle or that cousin that's coming to visit.
Gotcha.
Before I do that, you have another announcement?
Yeah, I got one more. You can go ahead and hit.
All right. So tonight at the Muslim Community Center, which is in Moseley, Virginia, out at the end of Hall Street, there's a fundraiser. It's August 4th tonight. After the sun goes down, the guest speaker will be Dr. Altaf Hussain, and that is at the Muslim Community Center, 16831 Hall Street Road. And as we're getting close to the end of Ramadan, there will be other celebrations as well. There's a family Chandra. I'm not sure.
You got a whole list.
I got a list, man. People coming up to me and they're giving me stuff to announce. We should just charge them like $2, $3 an announcement. I mean,
I was thinking $5, but we're trying to help out the community also.
So this is basically the last night of Ramadan after the sun goes down, which is basically when the party starts. There's no strobe lights or anything, so let's not
literally party.
Let's level set expectation on that. And so this is also at the Muslim Community Center, 16831 Hall Street Road. It goes from 8 p.m. to midnight. Admission is free. And then for the children, there's going to be an Eid carnival on the 26th of August from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Moonhouse, barbecue, rock climbing, bungee jumping. I'm
down for that.
I know.
Yeah.
Only if my wife lets me go.
Oh.
You're the same way. Don't. I'm down for that. You're going to go home and be like, can I go bungee jumping? And be like, no.
I'm an adventure guy, so, if I was going to do that, I don't think my wife would have a problem.
Yeah, so, okay. Hopefully. So, again, we're going to put all this information up on our websites, communityradioshow.com. So going back to the...
Hold on. Got one more thing. Sorry. This is really important. This one is a little bit, I think, touches closer to home. There was a brother, Haroon Warren, Aaron Warren, 18 years old, good friend of mine, good person, fairly well known in the community. He was in a car accident last Monday, and right now is at MCV with 2nd and 3rd degree burns. Apparently... there was I don't know all the details of the accident, but I believe that the story goes there was, an explosion in the car, and I believe he had initially got out with minimal burns, but there was somebody that was still inside of the car, and he actually went back in to try to help them out. But he's at MCV. I think he's making progress. I did visit him. I'll definitely be sliding back over to see my good friend. An account has been set up to accept donations for his medical care. You can go to any Wells Fargo branch and make a deposit to the Aaron, and that's AARON, Warren, WARREN, Medical Fund. The account number is 701-568-6756. And you can give that directly, to the bank and make any type of contribution. It would be very much appreciated, as I said. And for some of you that may know, he was the U15 Ansar soccer coach. So, he was definitely active in the community. It's sad that, he had to, went through this. And, we all wish him the best. And keep him in your prayers and dua. But, yeah, so if you got any more information about that, you can also hit us up on the Facebook page. Just search Community Radio Show.
All right. So now that we got the announcements out the way, but actually that was a serious one about the Harun, and actually takes us into it's we're talking about jihad and its original intent and how it morphed later on into historically into this military aspect of it. Historically, traditionally speaking, up until prior to the middle of the 8th century, the notion of jihad and shaheed was exactly this, which Bukhari talked about, in that this person Harun, his brother Harun, saw someone in danger, went in, tried to rescue him. Had he died, he would have been considered a shaheed. And so that was the overarching concept of a shaheed and jihad as far as exertion and the struggle. And so it wasn't until the middle of the 8th century that the military aspect, the offensive military aspect of jihad started to take shape, to receive greater emphasis in Islamic legal circles from scholars. There's a whole the real difficulty with talking about this, to be honest, is that it's not linear. It's not I can't put it in a nice. We can't put it in a nice wrapping and put a little bow on it and give it to you and you'll be like, oh, this all makes sense. It's really complex because at some level you have to have an understanding of the genesis of Islamic legal theory. Who wants to know that? I mean, that would put me to sleep. So
yeah, let me and I'll also just to interject. You got to understand we're not scholars here. And, I mean, there have been many lectures and books that have been written on jihad. I mean, this is a subject that can span days. But, for time, sense of the show is something that we still want to address because we are, would like to still formally educate the public.
So I see we have a caller
Yep.
From Chester. His name is Sheikh. Let me see if I do this right. I have to hit 1. Let's see that. All right, you're on the air, Sheikh. Go ahead.
Dr. Tariq Sheikh from Chester. I'm very happy to hear both of my brothers, Hadi and Sirraj, trying to clarify the concept of jihad in Islam to our listening people, Muslims and non-Muslims alike. What my question is that, generally speaking, my American friends, they correlate jihad with killing, whereas as a humble Muslim, I believe it is very, very far from true. Jihad has a very big meaning, and the initial stages start with the struggle against one's own self, against the evil in all of us. So to keep ourselves clear from that evil is part of jihad, and it had nothing to do with killing. Where I work with lots of patients and non-Muslim people, they gradually understand. But most of the people through the media or newspapers or TV have a very different concept.
Right.
So I will ask my both brothers to elaborate more that jihad has nothing to do with killing. Individual acts, they don't amount to jihad. No matter they take the name of Allah or say whatever, it's totally different. It's a struggle against many kind of injustices and the evil that we have in our own self or in society. or the community at large.
Yeah, thanks for calling.
Appreciate
it's
it.
actually correct.
Assalamu
That's what excuse me. I was going into is absolutely correct in that the intent and the true meaning of jihad initially was for and even still today, I would argue today that it is the true meaning of it has to do with the struggles of oneself as far as the day-to-day struggles that everyone goes through. Now, obviously there are Muslims out there that claim to be waging jihad and and putting a bomb in a marketplace and things like that. That's an aberration. That's not the norm. I say, as far as So the question becomes do you judge the religion based on the actions of a small minority, or do you really want to go into the religion and understand what it says, the true meaning of the term is, and what the the beliefs are? I gave this example that the intent of the creator of the automobile, Henry Ford, was not for you to get into it, get drunk, and maul someone over. However, if you do that, is that the fault of the car? That's not what the original intent of it was. And so you have to understand this whole concept of jihad from the military side that we see as it evolved through the context of politics, through the context of war, through the context of empires being coming up and coming down at the time in the 8th century. As we're going back to that, there was a time of war was going on, and we didn't have this notion of concept of nation states. And so
let me actually I'm gonna let you finish that thought.
So originally it was the struggle to to be a functioning member of society, and that that there was the military aspect of jihad in the defensive, as far as defending your property, your life, and your community. But this X-word expansion occurred at a much later time. Oftentimes, the criticism that is leveled against Muhammad is that he was a warmonger, and to that I say, oh, really? So if he was a warmonger, what was he doing the first 12 years when he was being persecuted in Mecca and all his followers, in which they were being boycotted, and people weren't buying from their goods and properties, and they were just literally on the brink of starvation, to where they actually left that condition and went into another city when they were invited into. So, and these verses that we are referring to, and we'll get to in a second when we come back from the break, is referred to as the verses of the sword. Were applied contextually to a condition of a people that were constantly in a state of war, and meaning that these were tribes, and you were always worried that the next tribesman is going to come and snatch your wife or your daughter, or your kids, or your livestock. And so it's completely been hijacked, you will, as far as what it truly means. But you wanted to say something, so I'll just stop.
I'm waiting for you to take a break. You might want to push that commercial break.
Genius
back
doesn't stop.
Maybe just like a minute.
Like when at the award show, just play the music. Just all right.
Okay. I want to see if maybe I can touch a little bit more, closer to where the caller was. Not to say what you said was wrong or anything. I think.
Were you even listening?
No, I was, but I think sometimes
keep on coming.
I'm gonna try to maybe give a little more simplex, response here.
Simplex.
Okay,
Simplistic.
You like that, don't you? Okay, I'm gonna read just an excerpt from this sheet that I have here that kind of gives a good definition that I would agree with. Jihad refers to the obligation incumbent on all Muslims, individuals, and the community to follow and realize God's will, to lead a virtuous life, and to extend the Islamic community through preaching, education, and and other avenues like that. Jihad also includes the right, which is also an obligation, to defend Islam and the community from aggression. Now, if I think what initially when we had looked at the three types of jihad, you have personal, verbal, and physical. And I think if I'm kind of looking in a more relative way for how we live in America, a personal jihad would be struggles with oneself. That is the highest level of jihad, which is struggling to make yourself better, to increase your knowledge, to increase your kindness, to increase your giving, to increase the good that comes out of relationships, whether with Muslims or non-Muslims, but becoming a better overall character in the way of first God or Allah, and also in the way of your community and the people that you live among. So that is the primary jihad that I think Muslims face. The second is verbal. So if you have something that you need to speak out against, then it's an obligation on you to speak out against that. I got about 20 seconds. Let's go. And then lastly would be the physical jihad, which the Prophet actually says is the lowest level of jihad. But you have to be realistic that if you are attacked or you have a physical burden against you, you do have to physically retaliate to defend whatever it is that you were defending, whether it's your religion, whether it's your family or yourself. That is still a jihad. Some people may just call it a defense, but because it's for the sake of God, that makes it a struggle against an oppression, against an evil, against the wrong, and that is a jihad. So we'll go more into that. Hopefully that answered the brother's questions, and we'll be back in a minute from the break. This is the Community Radio Show.